Welcome to the Ideal Investor Show. This is the podcast where we help you challenge your mindset and discover where you are. Tired of stories about other people's success? We can help you change your life, determine your time freedom point, and join us on the journey to financial success. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the Ideal Investor Show. And I wanted to ask you something, and that is, have you kind of had situations where you thought the topic that you were looking at was about you, and then it turned out it wasn't? That's what recently happened to me when I was going through the newsletters that I'm frequently receiving all around, like investing in financials and interest rates, mortgages, and all the stuff that I'm interested to find for you and also for myself so we can make the best investing decisions. And there was one article that was talking about the next generation is retiring. Will they have enough money? And I'm like, okay, well, I'll skip that. I've seen that so many times. But for some reason, it caught my eye for the subheading, basically, the subtitle. And it said 1965 to 1980. And I'm like, hold on. Because I thought, obviously, they were talking about me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm a baby boomer. That's just, I've always been my whole life. And I know that baby boomers are retiring, nothing new here. But then I saw those years. I'm like, hold on. That's not really baby boomers. And then I read into the article and it actually said, this is Gen X, which is defined as birth years between 1965 and 1980. That next year, if you really think about it, they're going to reach their 60-year anniversary or their 60-year birthday. And the article was talking about the fact that they had done a study and interviewed a lot of members of this Gen X generation, and it's comparatively to baby boomers much smaller. It's also much smaller than the millennial generation that comes after 1980. So that Gen X is kind of like in between there, and it's relatively small. So this group had actually interviewed a whole bunch of people, and they had very overwhelmingly said that they would like, if at all possible, retire at 60 or no later than 63, which would mean a whole bunch of them would start retiring next year or in the next few years. What was actually interesting is that this Gen X generation is kind of the first that has mainly done, if they did anything, for retirement by using 401k plans. Because my generation and my parents' generation and grandparents' generation, it was much more common for one that you worked, if you had a normal job, that you worked for a company for pretty much all your life, or maybe in your whole 40 or 50-year career, you worked for two companies. But it's not like today, or wasn't, that you move from one company to the next over and over. And I think right now people have anywhere in their whole life career 10 to 15 jobs. So yeah, that wasn't the case. And then the other thing important in this context was that if you worked for a company, you were basically putting part of your money into the company retirement plan. Right now, a lot of those got wiped out in different major crashes. I know General Motors, for example, had a retirement plan, and when they went bankrupt, something like around 2010 or so, they went bankrupt. And then the big thing was that the government had to take over that retirement plan because all the people that were already in the retirement plan were entitled to payments. And there are federal laws that say, okay, if you are a member in a retirement plan and the company that actually was supposed to manage the plan didn't do a good job, then you are, in a sense, guaranteed, at least to some extent, to keep getting your retirement income. Now, that was all replaced with the 401k plans, which for the most part say, yes, the employer is helping you with a contribution to your retirement, and you pick if you want to be in a low, medium, or high risk investment scheme. And then the company has an agreement with Vanguard or Fidelity or stuff like that. So they invest the money that comes in every month in ETFs or mutual funds and so forth. But ultimately, it is really your responsibility. And more so when you actually retire from work. Now you have this plan. And if you're 59 and a half or older, which actually applies to these early Gen X people, then you can start actually drawing from the 401k plan without any penalties or stuff like that. And you can also shift what the money is invested in. If it's majority mutual funds and stocks and stuff, you can say, I want bonds, or you want to do other stuff. but it's basically on your own. And the one number that I found was very, very interesting is that the amount of money that the Gen X people have saved in 401k plans and stuff like that is less than half than what baby boomers on average have in their retirement accounts. And so the question is, what are people going to do? And one of the things the article said, and I don't know what you think about it, but I wanted to at least kind of trigger maybe some contemplation when you're listening to this episode, is that a whole bunch of the Gen Xers said, well, we feel it's too late anyway. Nobody ever cared for us. We had all these things with student loan and credit card loans and financial crashes and stuff like that. So we just gave up on retirement savings. We gave up on Social Security. It's not going to be there for us anyway. So all those kind of defeatistisch kind of views, and that is pretty sad. So if you know anybody in Gen X, I would love for you, and it's a pretty broad, it's the 1965 to 1980, right? That's 15-year time span. There are people that are still 16 years away from retirement, and we can help them. So if any of the audience is in that age range, right, where you're in your 40s, we can help you. Or if anybody in the audience listening to this realizing that Gen Xers have maybe not done or not been able to do much to prepare for their retirement, tell them about Ideal Wealth Grower. Maybe go to the idealinvestorshow.com website and show them that there's a button to book a call so they can get in touch and we can talk about it. And I can tell them a little bit what they can do, because any time frame of about 10 years is enough to create a substantial passive income portfolio that will sustain you. That's what we all do, but if it's true, like this article said, that a lot of Gen X people have kind of given up on retirement, then I really want to help you. And I really want to encourage you to go to our website, idealinvestorshow.com, and get in touch. So with that being said, look around yourselves. If you're not already in that group yourself, look around and ask yourself, how many Gen Xers do I know? And please reach out to them and tell them that they can have a good retirement if they start working on it right now. So that's it for today. Be well and stay safe, and I talk to you tomorrow.